Huskies, Huskies, Huskies.
Yes, this is Husky Huddle with the man himself, Coach Schuman, and he's up for the award of Coach of the Year for the 9-year-old Pop Warner division.
No, we got knocked out. We
You
got
did get knocked out. You did.
Great game.
Oh,
We lost 34-25. Great game though. It was wild.
And I'm the best podcast in the universe. It was that's a lot of points for a 9-year-old game. 35-24.
We were up it was 34-25. We were up 25-13 at halftime.
Okay, that's what you were talking about. Because when you sent me that text, I thought you meant UConn was up 25-13 at halftime, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't remember that. So you were talking about your game. You guys were up.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What happened in the second half? Did you have to play the shock troopers, or
you have to do the rotation? So
yeah, the shock troopers had to get in.
That's right.
That's what I call them. I call them the shock troopers.
I'm gonna have to call them. I'm gonna have to come up with a name for that group, so they take a little more pride in it.
Call them the shock troopers is a great name.
Great name. Yep, or stormtroopers.
I used to call our guys the shock troopers, and then we had the purple, the white, and my group. If I had the scout guys, they're gold. Said, go for the gold. We're the gold squad. So that's how I tried to do it.
That's why you're smart. You're a smart coach.
I was a halfway decent coach. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Was Tyler here? All right, hold on.
Oh, good. He is here. Beautiful. Yes, there he is. He's in bed.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Wow, excited to be there.
Did you have a long night? Or did you lose some bets? Or
did I lose some bets? One, yes. Two, yeah. I'm just in the middle of a. I was actually taking a nap when I got the reminder, so I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Do you have class this afternoon? You teaching class this afternoon?
Sparring. I have a couple clients that I have sparring. I think I'm supervising today.
Okay.
And I've already worked a couple clients already today. So my day starts at 6 a.m. So
I know they do.
Right. Isn't it the middle of the day? The middle of the day is like more your break period than the evening.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It's tough. It's a tough deal. But,
I'm fine. Yeah. No big deal.
No big deal.
How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Coach, what are we gonna do about this team that can't win a game when it matters?
Oh, and it's funny because the last thing they needed was a quarterback controversy, and now that
why is it the last thing they need?
Well, because you're 4-3, you're still got plenty of season to go. You got winnable games. You don't need a quarterback controversy to make things complicated. And I don't think the other guy's necessarily better.
Right.
I think Nick missed on some throws that he shouldn't have.
Yeah,
I think the last play of the game was clearly a pass interference that they didn't call.
Well, referees are horrible.
It shouldn't have gotten to that point.
Listen,
they're horrible everywhere. Did you see the Texas game? And they're horrible everywhere, referees. So
I know
you're not getting that.
Honestly, the refereeing, especially even the pros, but college football, there's been a lack of consistency. And
very.
And when there's issues like this, no accountability. So, and they protect they protect themselves, etc. So, I mean, it's actually kind of par for the course. It's unfortunate because we're seeing a lot more games being dictated by these shitty decisions. Excuse my French. these crappy decisions that the referees been making.
Well,
It's been pretty rampant, like
the
in the game
first
this year.
the first jobs that should go when AI is ready to go is referee. That is
The
the
robots. They're going to put
first
robots.
job. I want to go to any game that I ever coach or see and see robots who have the laser line that you see on the TV.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
know when the guy's on or off. Okay, we know he's on. Okay, we know when the guy goes off sides. Our laser eyes can see holding. Okay, interference. We don't make mistakes on it. The algorithm, they plug it all in. Perfect. Done.
Yeah.
And then the referees automatically have if they think there's a mistake or if something that's possibly an error, they automatically have the video in their freaking algorithm. It goes in there. They
In
look
their
at the
algorithm, not
yeah,
their brain, in their algorithm. Okay.
yeah, in their brain, they have the video immediately that they look at. They don't even, it doesn't even, we don't even know. They just looking at it. Oh, we called interpass interference. Check that. We've seen the video. It is incorrect. No pass interference. That's AI. That's what the first thing AI needs to be done
I
for.
mean,
Well, they need to be able to review those too. The pass interference.
yeah, but Dave,
Computers will review it immediately.
while your heart's in the right, while your heart's in the right place, think about the rat race among the gambling community. There would be to infiltrate
To infiltrate the
Absolutely.
the
robot.
brain
Absolutely.
of the robot referees.
That will make it the most fun thing of all, too.
He's
Which
right. They
robot
would.
referees on the take?
Robot referees hacked.
Hacked.
Did you lose your voice from the game too?
Yeah, I'm sick though. Also, I'm sick.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I got like
You were screaming at the 9-year-olds.
no. I mean that was part of it, but it was really more. I wasn't screaming at them. I screamed at the referees, dude. Referees are horrible. I scream at them constantly.
Oh, you had some bad calls too.
I'll tell you this every week. Refereeing, you watch every game, no matter what level. Obviously, the lowest level is the worst. Obviously, it's going to be the worst.
Yeah, you're going to get the worst guys. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get like a guy who just like walked out of his bed.
The Weekend Warriors
shirt on,
Yeah, exactly.
striped shirt on. You know, they're like, here's $30, here's striped shirt, go. So, because I had a guy say to me this weekend, he got a referee. The team we were playing, you know, one of their coaches didn't was like they have too many guys on the line on offense. The referee goes, you know, you guys might be having too many guys on the line. I'm like, there's no such thing.
There's no such thing. You can have 11 on the line.
On the line, other than the quarterback, everybody,
every
single person. They're like, really? I'm like, open a rule book, dude.
The only way you don't need
rule book.
Yeah, if you throw the ball, you have to have a couple guys off, but otherwise, no, you can have as many guys as you want on the line.
No. Obviously, college and high school guys aren't. That's not an issue with those guys, but it's a. I think it's refereeing as a whole. I watch all these college games, the pro games, even. It's just so inconsistent. Like you really do wonder, like in college and pro. Like, are these guys on the take? Like, you know,
they've tried not to make it that way and pay them more, but I can't see how they wouldn't be. I mean, if someone's offering them 7 figures, 6 figures
for the term integrity of the game to get thrown around so loosely, they want to spend absolutely no money on maintaining the integrity of the game. And good thing that Steve just said, why not pay the officials like effing full-time employees?
Yes.
Like, I mean, they just have like in their hands the most money-making operation, the integrity of that money-making operation in their hands. And if you're not paying them a healthy salary and taking care of like the little things, like pay them at least like a low to mid 6-figure salary, benefits, etc.
In college, guys are game by game.
Yeah, exactly.
Colleges don't have it. No.
Exactly. So what you're gonna have is danger for the integrity of the game to be violated.
Yeah, and it affects people's jobs. Coaches get fired because of it. You
Yes.
know,
100%.
a
Yes.
couple of bad calls and they lose games, they get fired, and
Yeah,
it's awful.
that's a
And,
valid thing.
I have a theory. You ready for this theory?
Sure.
Here's my theory on the NFL and college. My theory is they only care about the fans. Okay. And there's more fans watching than ever. And the fans like controversy. They love TMZ. They love nonsense. Okay. And
Okay.
and as you would if you're a fan who just casually watches the game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't blame them at all. But if you're a casual fan, you watch the game, you're Johnny sitting on your couch with your hand in your underwear. Okay. That's pretty much like, you know what I'm saying? You love it.
yeah.
Dude,
Oh well, I mean,
what videos go viral? Some fan
The
punching
bad
the
calls.
TV,
Yeah,
punching the
yeah,
TV
yeah,
after, right? That brings
yes,
more viewers.
yes.
Like,
yeah.
so my theory is, why would they want to pay more? Because all the BS that goes on just brings more fans to watch it. That's my
Yeah,
theory.
Hey, actually, that's a good point.
they
But
want to
I
see the
think,
corruption.
no, I really, your argument holds a lot of water. With that being said, I tend to think it's more of like these older, out of touch school presidents. Like if we're talking about NFL, I'd say owners, but they just football and sports in general is one of those places where we've always done it this way. Will like always be like a reason of this older generation just because we've always done it this way and we know the best way to do it and no one can tell them differently.
Well, that's why I credit baseball. Baseball, at least, has gone to instant replay and being able to check balls and strikes, getting a second
But I
view
mean,
on it.
you have a really good point. That's like, of
But
course, they have.
they're the only ones that do it. But
But I'll take that. Are there challenges in college now? I'm sorry, I'm not heard. Like I'm trying to think
no,
of a pro game.
no, there's
Okay,
no challenges in college. It has to come from
okay.
up top,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
which sucks.
I don't know. Like they, it's kind of like at least the college level at this point, into the pro, even at the pro level a little bit. They don't have anyone to check though, man. Kind of, they need someone to like be able to like raise these questions, and they don't have it. And the coaches are like you said, stuck in a rock and a hard place, and some of them even get fired based on these guys' incompetence.
Yeah, yeah. Mora went absolutely ballistic after the last play of the game on offense.
And right, I mean, rightfully so.
They had
That
to
was
pull him
pretty.
off the field.
That was a pretty cut. Do you blame
Yeah, it
him?
was.
Do
It
you blame?
was. It was.
Do you like after that?
No,
Like, do you blame the guy though? Like, I
not
have a
at
little
all.
more. I actually have a little more respect for the guy now because at least someone threw a fit about this, which is a pretty widespread problem.
Well,
Yeah,
Kirby Smart did
100%.
too. Kirby Smart threw a fit, and they won the game, and he made a big deal about it in his press conference too. All the thing, I don't know if you saw that play, but
I didn't.
basically, I'll show it because it's everywhere, and then I'll show the UConn play too if I can find it. Hold on, I'll show you this. Even though this has nothing to do with us breaking down UConn, but it was interesting. Let me see if I can find it here.
No, it does because it direct correlation to UConn.
It does. It is a very direct correlation and part of the problem. So obviously, in the referee pay scale, I'm certain the SEC refs are paid the most, right? So this
Most
is an
likely.
this is an SEC game, so you'd assume these guys are paid the most. And this is interesting. So let me see if I can get this. Okay, I got it here. Yeah, and then I'll explain. Can you see? All right, here we go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The football back, brings some pressure again. Back who stands and
Dave, go
delivers.
full screen.
Intercepted. Picked up by Barron. Cuts back. John A. Barron still alive.
Hold on, we go back. I'll go back and start again. Sorry.
Very, very eager to get the football back. Brings some pressure against Beck, who stands and delivers on the sideline. It's intercepted. Picked up.
They
took a while to do that.
We saw him talking. We didn't know, was this about where the ball's located after all the action? I knew Kirby. I knew this would light his fuse.
How could it not?
Yeah.
You had the call.
The call's already made.
Yeah. And now his defense has to go out there.
Is that mind blowing?
Kind of.
I wish they did that in the UConn game. Jesus.
Well, you first of all, the rule is you can't do that. You can't.
No, you're not supposed to.
A penalty is not. Now the pros. I don't know if it's different or not, but in college, if once you make a call, it is not penalties are not reviewable, right?
Correct.
So even though they made the wrong call, obviously they should not have been pass interference. You can't then go and turn that
And
call.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Like the referees at college don't know what they're doing. They allowed the fans, okay,
To
because they
dictate it.
didn't want to get their asses kicked by
They
beer bottles.
They 100% allowed the fans and what was happening to influence their behavior right there. 100%.
Correct.
100%.
Correct. And then I think that's a problem. I mean, that's a problem.
That's effing wild.
That's beyond
wild.
I mean, think about in gambling. Now, I don't.
Yeah,
they may have covered anyway or whatever, but you think about that kind of stuff. Like that does make you question, like what's going on. I'm trying to find this end of the game thing.
That's so unethical that they did that.
Yeah.
It's unethical, right? That to me, that's what it is.
Unethical.
I am shocked.
So you're 100% right when you talk integrity of the game. Like, what are we talking about here?
Jesus,
with integrity. So I'm trying to get to UConn's one at the end. Let me see if I can find this thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a 4th down play at the end or something?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a 4th down play at the end of the game.
I don't know if that shows it well enough. Is that when the receiver's on top of him?
Yeah, the receiver ran a comeback hitch, and the guy made contact well before.
Oh yeah, okay, you can see it. Hold on, let me go back to it here.
And Mike and I were watching it, and we both went nuts. Like,
not
there
a
was
great
no
angle.
And it wasn't talked about. I mean, if they had conferenced about it and picked up the flag like that, I mean, I don't know that UConn would have scored.
Well, if you conference before, okay, so you throw the flag, you conference, then you say there is no flag in the play, that's okay. If you make the call and start to mark it off and then go back, that has to happen before you make a call according to the rules. I'm just saying.
Wow.
So I didn't. That's my whole point on a lot of this stuff in college. Now the pros is a little different because they do have better checks and balances. Yeah. Even though there's a lot of mistakes made, they have better checks. But college, and I'm sure high school has all kinds of issues. But college has a lot of issues, I think, because even though the SEC guys are paid more than everybody else, they're still not full time.
They're not full time, right? None of them are in college.
Yeah,
these universities are making billions of dollars in football.
Yeah,
the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and ACC should have full time referees.
Yeah, they're $1 billion television contracts.
Now, Group of 5 might be different, right? You might have to have
yes.
You might have a different situation there because there's not as much money. But
like this is like that thing I basically just said. The only sport or the only industry, this is the way we've always done it. Like, that's their justification for this. This is the way we've always done it.
Right.
Where, like you just pointed out, it's the effing excuse my French, the SEC. Like, they're not lacking money. You can pay your officials like $250,000 to $500,000 a year, give them benefits, and make that their job, and have a system like a checks and balances or a standard where they have to maintain like vision tests and like physical fitness and things
Yeah.
along those lines.
And wouldn't you be in a situation where you have more guys apply? Let's not even say it's 250. Let's say you're paying a guy, paying him 150, 125. Okay.
Yeah.
You're because you're really only working 6 months out of the year, right? So
Yeah.
you can pay him 125. They could do something else for 6 months and make, end up making 200 a year, right? So, you're paying them, but let's say you pay them 125. When you get better applicants,
for sure.
right? You would get
yeah.
better applicants. Who the fuck wants to go referee an SEC game, even though they're getting paid well relatively to other people for a weekend gig? Okay. Who wants
It's a
who
different
wants to
kind
be in
of
a
weekend.
stadium of 80,000 people where they're throwing beer cans at you?
It's a different kind of weekend gig. Like what you said, Dave. But like you said, it's the SEC or it's the ACC, the Big
Gotta
10,
pay
Big
'em.
12. Like you just talked about, it's a different kind of weekend gig rather, and so much has impact on so much as far as industry, as far as revenue. Like it's such an impactful position, and it's being treated across the board like an afterthought.
Tyler, do you
What?
remember Luke Richmond?
Ugh.
Of course I do.
All right, Luke's a referee now.
Okay.
He started up in the Patriot League, and now he referees big time games.
Okay.
I think he's in the ACC or Big 12. I'm not sure exactly. He messaged Mike right after the play and said, "Yeah, that was pass interference for sure. I can't believe they missed that."
Yeah.
He was just embarrassed by it.
But these guys do miss things. That's the thing is that
Of course,
if you can get a lot better guys, if you pay a salary.
Yeah.
I mean, the sport is the referee is too vital. This is my point on all of it. And this is, I'm
No,
sure
Dave, I fully agree with you.
too
But
important to
it's
the
the way
game.
they've always done it.
They are important. Like same thing. Listen, at high school, I believe the same thing. Why aren't they getting a coach's salary for the fall? Okay. They get $100 a game. You want to get good referees? Pay your head referee 12 G's for the fall.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Pay your second-tier guys an assistant salary, $5,000-6,000 for the fall.
Our taxes are high enough.
They will line up to do that job. I would do it. I would do it to pick up money. I mean, people would do it. No, I'm serious. Like
Jamar Wilkins does it.
Yeah, I'm saying, but if you got better, if you paid better,
yeah, exactly,
and you had more benefits, especially college. Obviously, it's a no-brainer in college. No-brainer, because you'll get great applicants. They'll be much better, and you can fire them easier too. You stay great. You're not doing the job. You're failing. I have 10 guys that want that job, not a situation where you're failing and I have no one else to do the job. I mean,
exactly.
Think about Major League Baseball. When the guy gets a call to the major leagues as an umpire, it's the same for them as a player getting called up. The same
they work their way up. Yep.
Yeah, that's what you need in football. We have more money than baseball. We have more money.
Much more.
Why isn't a guy from FCS, when he gets the call to FBS to become a referee, goes from making $50,000 a year to making $150,000? That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then from that call to the NFL, you're making $300,000, right?
Exactly.
That's a big deal. $400,000. That's a big deal.
It's like they're getting guys from Home Depot that just got out of work to come referee these games.
That's right.
That's a valid point, both of you.
That's what it completely looks like.
Let's look at the UConn thing real quick.
Now, the UConn thing, the only thing I'll say is that I get it's the end of the game and they want to let the guys play, so they may be less hesitant to make the call. But this seemed pretty blatant to me.
He definitely molests them like he's P. Diddy, but
allegedly,
alleged my ass. All right, here we go.
Ain't nothing alleged about Diddy Party.
I mean, it's hard to see from this angle because, of course, Connecticut television stations that they're gonna film it from the fucking back. I mean,
you're not seeing okay, on CBS we got
media
to see
booth. Why don't you go up top and get some camera footage from up there? But no, they can't even get a guy up in the fucking booth in Connecticut. All right,
the CBS we saw the replay several times.
I mean, he's all over him, dude.
Yeah, he was.
He's all over him.
He was. It was 4th.
I will give it this. You're right. It is. It
was 4th and 8. I'm sorry.
It's still like a judgment kind of thing.
Yeah, it's subjective.
It wasn't so blatant that you're like penalty's going to come out. Like if you're a UConn fan, that penalty should happen. But it's. I mean, the Texas one was obviously not a.
That's absurd.
Yeah,
that's absurd
call. So but that's part of it though. Like, so you question everything with referees because there are so many fuck ups.
Yeah.
UConn bothered me because it was 4th and 3, and then they got flagged for a false start. And they got to push back to 4th and 8. And that's what they didn't convert. That stupid penalty they got beforehand was what killed them. I think they would have had a much better option at 4th and 3. And the other hesitancy.
But what was it? Was it a legitimate false start?
Yeah, it was. Okay. But what Mike and I both saw is Wake was playing man coverage. Their linebackers were literally turning their backs, running out of the box to cover people.
Got it.
Had Evers had some pocket sense, he could have rushed for 200 yards in just taking off. Take your drop.
He's not a runner, though. That's the thing. He's
supposed to be. He's supposed to be semi. I mean, he's supposed to be an athlete. I mean, holy hell. He didn't even take a chance on any runs. I mean, we did design quarterback runs, but he wouldn't run the ball on any pass plays.
You know what I want to bring up that I think is the difference between how you get your transfers, and this is something to think about for UConn in the future when you speak with Burton. What Cignetti did at Indiana is a template for how you get transfers.
Yeah.
So now Cignetti took 13 guys with him from JMU to Indiana.
Right.
He left JMU. 13 of his guys came there. Okay. He didn't take him with him, but when he left, they left. Okay. Those guys, even though he was a new coach, became the advocates for him. So within the locker room, you had 13 guys who had played for him the year before, team that was undefeated, I guess, until the end of the year, that are saying, just trust this guy. Just listen to what he's saying. And because he's probably ripping people's asses in the beginning and everything. Okay, trying to run guys off, getting in new transfers and stuff. And these guys are saying, hey, man, just trust this process because this guy knows what he's doing. And so you calm down that overall issue that you would have normally, because I think they had like 30 transfers or 40 transfers. Those 13 guys are keeping it calm, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're getting all these new guys in.
Yeah,
that's really no point.
Yep. So Cignetti had that. So now he had time to do the things the way he wanted to, even though it's his first year. He could shake things up because he knew he had these guys that are going to have his back. right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas most new coaches go in there with even Dion, you know, he had a few of his guys, but he didn't have like what Signetti did.
Well,
Signetti did,
Dion took a lot of guys. I mean, he
he
overturned
did a
that
Yeah.
roster.
handful,
Yeah.
but they were
Dion's
Jackson
names.
State.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
They were
Yep.
Jackson State.
One
They
double A.
weren't
Yep.
JMU.
Correct.
Signetti did that at a higher scale, higher
Yes.
level.
Yep.
I mean, he probably learned from Dion, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, and was like, okay, let me just get this, but get a core. If I got my core, then when I'm shaking shit up, like no people aren't like what you know how it is as a player, new coaches, new whatever. You're like, what the fuck's this guy gonna do? You know, he's
Yeah.
Exactly.
like
That's
me.
very valid. That's a very valid point, Dave.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. Mike said to see how many freshmen they bring in,
Yeah.
because I think they could bring in 20. They could go 15. They could go 12, and then leave more options open for the transfer portal to try to get guys in that way. I don't know if that's the best way to go, but I mean he's done okay with the transfers he's brought in. The only guy we're losing is Sheffield. He's the senior,
Okay.
and Bell will be back.
Bell's great.
Edwards, I'm pretty sure will be back.
Do you think
Yeah,
Bell
Edward.
could leave? Do you think Bell could leave?
I think he could. Yes, Mike. Yeah, Mike
Like
mentioned
get
that.
money somewhere else?
Yep. Robinson's back. Rose's. I mean, the running backs are incredible, and the fact that they only had 40 yards rushing is what bothers me tremendously.
I
To
think
have
they
40
should
yards
pay
rushing.
linemen. I was thinking about this.
They could do that too.
Like,
I love that.
if you pay some linemen, dude, pay some linemen, because
Yeah.
if you give a second tier lineman, I'm not talking about the guys that are going to Bama and all that stuff, or Texas, or whatever. If you get these guys that you're competing with, let's say they even go to, they might be going to like even like a JMU, right? That's
Yeah.
a really good Group of 5 program. Like if you pay them $10,000 and they're getting 0 to go to JMU, I mean, you're gonna get them
Easily. Yep.
You know, if they have the right mindset. I
Yeah.
just think that, you know, but the philosophy is important because you can see that Clemson's getting away with having more high school kids because Dabo's invested in them, right? It took a little time, but they're getting away with. They have a few transfers now, but they're getting away with it. So you really have a philosophical thing. You got to hang your hat on exactly what your ratio is going to be and what you want your core guys to be like on both sides. What do you want your high school kids to be like? And what do you want your transfer guys to be like? What do you want people to be able, like, what kind of personality, not just their playing ability, because I think that is critical. And guys like Kurt Signetti has shown that is how you could do it and have success. You know, like I think there's some templates out there. Like Dion's putting out a template, and whether you like Dion's style or not, he has a template that looks like it's pretty successful, right? So you have to figure out what's the right template for your university. That's hard. That's hard. I don't think that's an easy thing.
Excuse me.
You know?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we have a talent problem per se. I just think offensively, schematically, we're not in sync, and we're making too many mistakes. I think we have the talent there.
I will jump in with like Dave actually is real good as far as linemen. A lot of times this year it seems like this offensive line is being held together by spit and glue, you know? Like
Yeah, they've had a lot of injuries.
pretty patchwork. And like they just said, they could a couple you know, throw a little money at it and basically increase the pool a little bit. But Dave, one thing I would say, they need to like go out and get a couple more key guys too. Steal a couple guys from like the mid tier Big 10, Big 12 schools.
Like they had tried to do with Sheffield was Wisconsin and came with Evers.
You mean
Skylar
Bell? Oh yeah, Bell.
Skylar Bell was Purdue. So
I thought Sheffield was Purdue and Bell was Wisconsin.
I get them mixed up. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. They're trying to do that.
I think that was I think those were good pick. 2 to 3 so far have been really good, right?
Yeah.
So, but I do think the as they go forward,
the tight ends have played better.
Well, as they go forward, when you look at skill guys, okay, there's plenty of skill guys out there, plenty of them.
That's the thing,
There's not plenty of quarterbacks, okay.
No,
there's plenty of skill guys. The quarterback you got to get right. I think you pay more for linemen. Let's look at Boise State. Okay, Ginty. I mean, he's at Boise State, dude. He's the best running back in the country.
Yeah.
Would know that Ginty was going to be that good. They had no idea. No one had any idea. Ginty's not getting paid like the running back from Alabama is.
Nope.
He's the best running back in the country.
No.
Top running back in the draft. So there are guys that are skill guys that sometimes just need opportunity.
Yeah,
right coach. I don't think those
running
guys
backs are underrated.
I think the expensive guys are the quarterback is expensive. I think you got to spend on your offensive line so the quarterback is protected.
Yeah.
And then you go from there.
Your pass rushers, yeah.
I think it's counter to what at our level, it's counter to what everybody else does. Because the line, if you get great linemen, I don't give a shit who the running back is. He's running for yards. Think about it. How many running backs are there in the world? They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah, it's an underrated position.
Yes, running backs that get looked over that are just as good as guys that are Division I. Okay.
For sure.
He was too short. He was too slow. He was too If your line is good, if your line is dominant, it doesn't matter. Your quarterback is protected, and I don't give a shit who the running back is. He's running for yards.
Yeah.
Running backs, get fullbacks,
tight ends.
Get those dogs in there. You can get receivers, and then a D line.
Yeah.
Make get the dogs on defense so you can stop people. I think we overpay for skill players. Everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the entire NCAA.
At Bama and Ohio State and Texas, you got to overpay for Jeremiah Smith or Williams. They're the best in the country.
Sure.
If you're not getting the best in the country, to me, what the fuck is the difference between this guy or that guy?
That's fair.
And that's what Mike talks about, market value, having market value for the positions. But offensively,
you need a philosophy, but like what you like tall guys, you like fast guys, whatever the hell it is. But you need protection.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Don't be going up in there without protection.
Well, we had only given up 4 sacks before this game. So I mean, we had been protecting okay.
Temple is shitbirds. Temple sucks.
And we gave up
Florida
1 sack.
Florida Atlantic sucks. Florida International sucks.
Yeah. I agree with you. And this game is sad because we easily could have won this game. 100%. We had plenty of opportunities to win this game, and we became more one-dimensional. When you're throwing the ball 43 times with Nick Evers, I think you're putting him in a bad position. He's not the type of quarterback that can throw the ball 40 times a game. I think 30 times max.
I agree, but Steve, good point that you have. But they're kind of, I think they should have balanced the offense out a little more. But again, they're in a spot now
where something's
working. Yeah, they're at a spot now where if that running game isn't like established early on, that they're gonna be like, all
Yeah,
right,
they got
Nick,
to
go
start
work.
faster.
They're
Yep.
gonna go. They're gonna try to get Nick to work with his arm because it's been working. It's
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of
he
he's
threw
kind of being a victim of his own success there. You
he
know.
threw for 2 touchdowns and an
Yeah.
interception, but his completion
I think
percentage
Tyler's
was
right on.
awful.
I think that's a good point, Tyler. That look, when the game is dictated and you go and you try to run the
Yeah.
ball and you get stuffed, and then you get stuffed
Yeah.
again, you get stuffed.
Yeah.
Now, I think Steve is right that maybe their style of running game is
Their
should change.
their scheme is awful. Yes,
But
that's the bottom.
as it is, that's why you're going to end up throwing because
Yeah.
you get stuffed. No one's going to just keep running if you get stuffed, and then you're behind.
You're
So you're going
behind
to
the
have to
sticks.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, like they're running a lot of read option. They're running a lot of that run from the gun too. I just find that to be a less
I hate it.
effective, just a much less effective way to even if you're running a pro set or a power I like or even single back with two tight ends. Like if you're
Yeah,
coming
and they have
downhill,
2 tight
generally
ends.
generally if you're coming downhill, your running game's gonna be more effective. I think they might have kind of the mindset that they need to run this kind of like
Sideline.
trap option, read option, uh, kind of kind of a running game out of the gun because they don't have the horses on the line. Is kind of what I think is the mindset right now.
Yeah, I think they had 2 good tight ends. They ran a little pistol. They tried a little bit of inside zone. I thought they gave up on it early, but
Yeah,
the way they run outside zone
yeah.
is not productive and it's not working because they're either not reading the backside end, he's coming across and he's making plays, or they got to block on with the backside tackle and read the backside linebacker. The
I
backside
mean, just
linebacker goes,
honestly, like they could even running
quarterback
it
keeps
out,
it.
running a on the backside tackle. Just run that little check block would make him be just make him just impede his progress basically.
Cut off and
Like
climb. Yep,
yeah, or just not even cut off and climb. Just step in, check, then climb to the second level. They're not even doing that.
that's cut off and climb. But yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
well, excuse me, Steve. Well, the punch to the outside, then
Yep,
releasing to the
and then
inside.
climb the linebacker.
Oh, that's
Yes,
cut climb. Sorry, I
you're
think that's
right.
cut climb. I thought
That's
you meant like
exactly what I
I
want.
thought you were talking like a outside zone reach block climbing to the next
Oh,
level.
oh, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
But the other thing they have to build in, I think, because you're asking your receivers to block on the outside zone.
I
And
mean,
one of the
you
things we
need.
did,
I think you need to have receivers that can actually block fairly well on the outside to be successful on this level. But with you being said, if they're cracking the back, using them as primary blockers in the box, yeah, that's a mistake.
no, the way that we did it, which was successful, is your 20 personnel and your twins to one side, single receiver to the other, to the front side of the outside zone. You run what's called a free access throw. Your outside receiver runs a go. Your slot receiver runs a speed out. Okay, if the inside linebacker is cheated inside,
Steve, you could very easily
throw
just
the
say
speed out
yours. Steve, you can just say, "Hey,
instead
your
of running
receiver."
off the
You
outside
could just
zone.
say your receivers run them off.
They don't do that though. They don't run them off. They run and
Sounds
try to
like they're running
stalk
them
block.
off, but okay.
They try to stalk block the outside linebacker and get him pinned in, and it doesn't work. And then the
No,
tackle gets pushed back, and they get penetration. The tackle
yeah,
doesn't stand the end long enough. The guard can't get deep enough to reach the end, and it just ends up cutting,
sounds like a
and it
giant
cuts.
cluster F.
It is. I watched it, and it cuts back into the backside end who's screaming down the line, making the play.
Then why aren't
That's what.
guys?
So
Why isn't the front side? Why isn't the backside tackle checking them then?
the backside tackle's got to cut off the backside three technique or climb to the backside backer. That's the problem.
Then
You,
it's
you cannot run the ball out of the shotgun unless you read someone.
You have to read it, dude. You
oh
have
Because
to.
it's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
six-man
Oh okay,
box.
okay. Sorry, you're
'Cause
talking
You
about the
don't have enough
yeah. I got
guys.
you.
you're
No, I got you.
outnumbered.
No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You just said
Unless I guess you could. you could some people do this. They reduce the split receiver on the backside.
To come in, yeah.
Crash on the end, which is a mismatch.
Which they did.
Usually people use the tight end body,
Yep.
crash on him. And if you're gonna
the Chiefs did that yesterday very well.
Yep, you do that and you crash on that guy
Chiefs
and then you can just
Mahomes. That's also like Steve, just going to what you're saying. That's the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I forget their running back's name, but
Kareem Hunt.
Elite, like they need to make adjustments here. And this just goes back to what I'm saying about the way they're running out of this. They're basically run that read option kind of look. Not exactly what they're reading, but they're running that look out of the shotgun. And like I said, they may not have the personnel to try and run it downhill, but this is just not working.
It's not working. And I think the injuries they're having up front is because they're position blocking. They're not going to create movement. They're trying to cover guys up. And when you do that, your linemen don't play with a whole lot of knee bend, and they're too upright, and they're getting falled on, and their MCLs are getting torn or whatever. I know they lost both guards, I think, in the game. So I mean, it limits. But the other thing they don't do, which drives me up a wall, they don't run any like nakeds. Slam flat with the backside tight end. He slams the end, so the quarterback can get the edge. You fake the outside. All they run is outside zone. You're going to get good flow at the outside zone. Backside tight end slams the end, runs into the flat. The slot receiver cheats his split, runs the over route, and you high-low the linebacker. You get it to the tight end if he's the first option. If he's open, you get it to him in space. If he's not, you throw the drag across the field. We don't do that. And it drives me crazy. And the play action out of the shotgun is very, very difficult because you don't get the linebacker stepping up as much as you do under center with a hard ball play action fake.
Well, I mean, one thing I will say is what I have seen the play calling is pretty vanilla.
It's an offensive line coach who I don't think he's called plays before, and that's part of the problem. He's never called plays before. And like I said, this was the first time that they had everyone healthy on the field together. With Evers, Edwards, Bell, Sheffield. They had the whole slew healthy. And it's, I get it. It's their only second time playing together. Yeah. But this was a very, very winnable game. And they just let it get away. And they were lucky. I mean, they kicked the field goal at the end of the half to make it 10-6. And then they took a lead in the third quarter by scoring and went up 17-10. Then Wake tied it 17-17 in the third. And that was, and they kicked the field goal and ended up winning 23-20. I mean, we scored a touchdown. We got the ball back. We were driving. The defense got a couple big stops. And it's just disappointing to see. It's just, taking that next step. But the season's by no means over. They still easily can get into a bowl. They should be able to win this week. They should be able to win next week.
Next week.
This week
Rice.
is Rice, and then Florida something or Georgia State maybe. I think it's Georgia State, and that's the end of their homestand. And then they got, I know they play Syracuse on the road. Or maybe it's UAB. I got to double check. But Tyler, are you going to get honored? All right.
Yeah.
It's Rice.
At halftime. We'll see if they lock Bielowski in a room. That'd be funny.
Well, I don't know. They don't know if he's going.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he probably has to work, but who knows?
Well, it's a 3:30 game, so maybe I don't know if he's commentating anything, but Rice and Georgia State are their two last home games, so it's good that they're doing that against Rice, and then Georgia State's a Friday night game.
Is Georgia State any good? Rice is terrible.
Georgia State has actually they were decent last year. I think they went to a bowl game. They're not as good this year. They're 2-4. So Rice is down from last year. Rice had a really good run last year. Now they're 2-5. So if we don't come out with both wins in both these games, that's going to be a huge disappointment because realistically, Rice, Georgia State, UAB, dumpster fires. We should be able to win. And then Syracuse.
A big part of that is whether we'll be able to recover from this dumpster fire of a game.
Yeah. To play as bad as we did the good is to play as bad as we did and only lose by 3 points to an ACC school.
Fair,
but you got to look at that as
fair.
Wake
I try to look at that as no, Wake is not good. But I try to look at that as a positive. I think that they offensively need to go back to the drawing board. They have no identity on offense, and that's the problem. What's their personnel group?
Hit or miss, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's our identity? Yeah. What do we do well? And I can't tell you what we do well. Do we have a good quick game? Not really. Do we do play action? Not really. Is our run game was going into this fantastic. I mean, we had 1,300 yards rushing in 6 games, which is amazing overall. But schematically, I don't agree with it. I think it's very, very poor. Anytime you run outside zone out of the gun, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
When your back has to turn his shoulders perpendicular to get the handoff, and he never gets outside. It's a designed freaking cut play.
Too slow is what you're saying.
Well, if you read it or RPO it, fine.
1, too slow. 2, that's a downhill play. Like outside zone is a downhill play, and they're not running it as a downhill play.
No. And the defense, God bless them. I talk so much smack about the 3-3-5 and how much I hated it. It's a gimmick defense. Their defense had played lights out. And, Jaden McDonald.
UConn's outside zone is run more like stretch.
Well, they try to, but they never get there. Right. And the back has to stop.
Even that stretch look, it's still a downhill play.
Yeah.
It's a downhill play to the corner. Like you're trying to get it outside the box.
You got to get it outside, yes. They never get there.
It's still a downhill play, though, and they're not running it as such.
They tried to come across and have the back stick a foot and get north, which is how you run it out of the gun. I like it out of center where, we used to teach the quarterback he had to run to get there to hand it off. Because the aiming point was 1 by 1 outside the tight end. So that's how wide the aiming point was. Yeah. And we don't have that. And we don't go under center. So the thing is, if we're going to stay in the shotgun, I think we need to involve the tight end more. I think we need to involve a couple gap schemes. I think they got to run power. I think they got to run power or counter H. Run counter, pull the guard, and pull the tight end. And that'll keep defenses honest.
Run a 2-back set out of the gun too.
That's all they do is run 2-back sets out of the gun. But 2 tailbacks. That's what I don't like.
Which why not run it with a blocking back and then
exactly.
Exactly.
That's what I would want.
You could make it more of a downhill play, but at the end of the day, they're not running downhill. They're not really running. They're not setting up their guys for a north-south and have success.
No. Everything's perpendicular, and they're expecting the back to stick a foot, get north, and find a crease and get through it. And they have 3 good backs, and they're just struggling. The last 2 games to do it.
Yeah.
And if Evers is not effective reading anything, and you can't RPO anything,
Yep.
running the ball out of the shotgun essentially is useless. You're killing yourself
I
because
agree, but hey,
you're outnumbered. You're outnumbered every single play without a read, or unless you put a tight end backside to cut off the backside end.
yeah.
And that's what's killing me. And then the passing game, when you have a team that's playing man, Dave, you got to run pick plays. You got to run crossing routes. You got to run unders. You got to run anything to create separation. Now, he threw the ball behind a few times, and he threw the ball high.
They like the fade ball on that.
Yeah, he loves the fade. I know. He throws a decent fade. The touchdown he threw to the tight end in the fourth quarter was excellent. I like both their tight ends, and I would love to see them get in the 12 personnel.
I think if you want, I think you're right.
If
you want to throw fade in man-to-man, you got to also run mesh.
Mesh.
You have to do
My
both.
God, how do you not run mesh?
You have to mesh it. You have to run mesh because that gives a better one-on-one matchup for your guy.
Correct.
On the outside. So you run mesh, and you can take advantage better on the fade, and then you're going to get the one-on-one beaters underneath. So you're not pigeonholed to just sort of fade it. If they defend, if you get your matchup you like, you throw it a fade. If they do a good job putting the right guy on your guy,
the mesh is going to come open.
A mesh, yeah.
And then I used to run the mesh with the mesh, the fade, and then I'd run a dig over the top
great.
of it.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I'd try to get 5 out and put the back into the flat.
Exactly.
So it'd be a 5 out play. If you want time, just keep the back in and protect.
Exactly. But if you can't protect well enough, you keep the back in.
But if you have man coverage and you're not utilizing motion to get your wide receiver in motion to give him an advantage against that man coverage, I think you're being deficient in doing that. You got to be creative offensively when teams are manning you up. If teams play man coverage against you, I see it as a sign of disrespect. I see it as a sign of they think they're better than us. So we have to run schematics that are going to get our guys open, that are going to, pick plays and meshes and fade balls, whatever. Fade stops. I love the fade stop. Anything like that. They had a great touchdown on a post wheel, one of my favorite routes. They ran a post from the outside guy, and the slot ran a wheel, and they scored on that. So I think they need to show more of it, and they'll be okay. They'll be okay. It's just letting this one get away is tough. It would have put us at 5 wins, 1 game closer to a bowl, and with the schedule they have coming up with Rice and Georgia State, winning streak. And hopefully they get back to work, and I trust Mora and he'll get it going. And the defense is playing lights out. They play for that guy, for that Brock.
I mean, one thing is they've had some real good success this year, so maybe we're getting a little spoiled. So hopefully this is their mulligan. Hopefully this game is their mulligan. The personnel and the coaches learn from it, and they can. The rest of the games are all very, 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 very winnable games. So I mean, they're not the worst. They're not in the worst position. They're not in the worst position right now.
I think we'd all be happy at 4-3 in July. If we knew we were going to be 4-3 at this time, I think we all would have been thrilled.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. That's fair.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And thank God we did win the Temple game. then we would be fighting uphill.
I was actually just thinking about that when you were when we were talking about there. the Temple game is also might be a display of these problems that they kind of have overall. Where, like you said, defense been lights out, but
Well, I think
man,
teams
it's
are
like the defense
adopting.
wasn't really lights out versus Temple, and it took them a while to get everything figured out. And like you said, defense lights out. Like any way you look at it, that goal line stand in the dramatic final play, like that, they deserve a lot of credit for the way they were able to come up with a huge, like,
Huge.
hopefully season defining moment right there. But
Yep.
they definitely didn't build off it. I feel like they're a victim of their own success here, and that's why they really didn't show up
Well,
versus Wake Forest. Like I
like
really
I
feel
said,
like they didn't really show up in this game.
they held
It should not have been this close. They didn't
they
play very well.
they held Wake to 23 points. So I give them credit for.
Bro, I mean,
I mean,
yay.
if you're holding an ACC team to 23 points defensively when you're put in bad situations, I got to give them credit for that. I do not give them credit offensively because they
It's an
were a
ACC
mess.
team, but it was a 2-4 ACC
A poor
team.
ACC team, correct? Yes,
A 2-4 ACC team. They did not.
100%.
They did not capitalize.
100%. They should have capitalized, and they did not. They did not, and that's what we'll look back on. Probably at the end of the year and say, geez, we could have been 8-4 or 9-3 had we not blown the Wake game.
Yeah, exactly.
We had Duke. We could have beaten Duke. So it's those games that are tough to go back and live with.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I mean, I know we're going to be favored against Rice. I just hope that they come out with a better plan, and they need some tendency breakers because I can tell you pretty much what they're running offensively.
Push that, Steve.
Well, you look at their formationally, you can tell what they're running.
Yeah,
every play. Defensively, they've done a much better job, and they're disguising their coverages. They're disguising where the pressure's coming from. They're twisting up front. They lost contain a couple times. They did a nice job against a tough Wake offense with that zone read where they ride it forever, which they haven't seen. And I don't even know. I'd love to go clinic at Wake and see how the hell they run it.
I can tell you what they do.
Do they pass block it? Like, it doesn't look like they run block.
They double team as much as they can, and they hold the guys basically on the line.
Okay. And they wait for the linebackers.
And the linebacker can read the line, open and close, basically.
Okay.
So if the linebacker comes forward or isn't in position where they're throwing it, they fire it.
They throw behind him. Okay.
Yep. If he drops or if there's space in that area, they give it.
They give it. So the line technically is pass blocking, but it's like a firm protection.
More like a run block, but they're just not going down the field.
So it's a play action block. They come off the ball like it's play action almost and try to lock on and block firm. Okay.
Yep.
Because I believe Wake invented this, right? This offense? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I know that some people have tried to copy it, but wow, I mean, they run it well.
You know what? You know who ran a version of that too? Was Coastal, not with this coach, but the coach, a version of it.
Not Hugh Freeze. Did Hugh Freeze run it at Coastal when he was at Coastal?
No, it's after Hugh Freeze. It's, wait. When was Hugh Freeze at Coastal before he's at it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hugh Freeze was at Liberty, not Coastal.
Oh, no.
Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. I thought Hugh Freeze was at Coastal. No, Hugh Freeze was Liberty. I do not know the Coastal coach.
Hugh Freeze keeps losing. He might be back at Liberty.
Yeah, and Brian
Tough gig,
Dayball
that's a
maybe
tough
with
gig.
him.
Head coach in college, tough gig, man.
Mhm.
Although the money's good, so even if you get fired, you got good money.
That's that was my dream.
That's fair.
Jamie Chadwell ran
Okay.
that version of it. Jamie Chadwell is now at Liberty, I think.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's at Liberty now, so he might be running it maybe at Liberty, a little version of it. I don't know.
No, that was my dream. I always wanted to go with a big coach somewhere, and they get a big contract, and then get fired, and then get paid not to coach
Yeah.
for like 2 years. That was my dream.
Phenomenal gig, dude.
That was my dream. I want to be Ed Ogeron,
Oh,
whose boxes were already. He's like, yep, all right, no problem. I'm out. Jimbo Fisher, who's
you're
getting
right.
80.
You're right. I've been terrible. You should fire me.
Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher, $80 million. They had to give him a check.
I would say see ya with my middle finger on the way out. Just walking
Yeah.
like this. See you guys.
Hey guys.
Have a good life. You'll never
Robert
see me
Saleh.
again. What?
Robert Saleh is still owed quite a bit of money,
I do the same thing about him.
and his
See ya.
his conversation with the owner was like 5 minutes. I think he was like, I agree with you. We're not living up to expectations.
Yeah.
He didn't even bother to fight.
Again, $20,000 a day until you pay. Great. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Going to the beach with my
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
I call my kid's teacher up to be like, listen, my kids aren't going to be around for about a month. We're going on a long vacation.
Oh, that's great.
Go on to the beach, guys. We're good. We got plenty of money.
So, Dave.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there a chance that you'll be able to go to a game?
Is this week a game? Is it what time is this week's
It's
game?
a 3:30 game on Saturday.
I might be able to go.
Okay.
So,
and Burton does not have he's not going. So he told me his suite was open. The other thing he asked, he invited
we can go in there or open.
No, he invited my parents to a game, which is going to be a disaster, next Friday.
Okay.
So I may go to both. So that's why I was asking. It's a Friday. It's a Friday night game.
Should I talk to Burton if I'm going to go?
If you're going to go, if you're going to go this weekend or if you want to go next weekend, I may try to go to both. But yeah, I know I'm going for sure next weekend.
Yeah,
because my parents are going. So, and then
they probably miss going there, man.
I don't miss going there.
No, they probably miss going there.
Yeah. And then we got money line in the Rebel Republic tonight.
All right, perfect. Oh, who won I think I won, right? Or no?
Yeah, I gotta pay. My score was I was the one who was way off.
Would you say 50 for UConn, 0 for
I think I was like 35-10. I was like way off.
Good job, Steve.
Yeah. So the bleeding
12-0. If you get UConn, if you get Steve's predictions, 100% UConn is 12-0.
Yeah.
So
I have not predicted against them yet. You're right.
They should hire you as the head morale booster for
the head morale booster. Yeah.
Yes.
So yes,
morale's already bad enough.
I will be making my.
I'm sure morale is bad enough around there this week.
No, I think he'll keep them upbeat. I think he'll figure it out. I do, but I will be making. I will be making my donation to Bleeding Blue because of my prediction. So
that's all good.
Yeah.
That's all good. Yeah. Well, this week is going to be a hard one because I think we all think they're going to win.
I'm not you will not see any 35-10 scores coming out of my mouth anymore.
Oh, because when there's money on the line, the real truth comes out.
Well, no, now I know offensively our ceiling's probably 28.
Pretty brutal offense.
I'm not gonna. I don't. Unless Joe Figiano is playing Merrimack, I'm not putting the 40 points out there. I'll probably keep it at 28. That'll be the ceiling for the offense, unless they make some changes. I'm going to have to watch some film, but we'll make our official predictions Friday because I want to do some research. I'm going to watch some film, so I'm better prepared. I'm better prepared, and I'm not just throwing numbers out there.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I mean, Rice has one big win. No, Rice doesn't have that win. It was a Rice or Georgia State. I think it was Georgia State.
Georgia State did, yes.
Yeah.
They beat Vandy.
Yes. Rice. They lost to Sam Houston, who I thought was one FCS.
Yeah.
They beat Texas Southern. They lost to Houston 33-7. They lost to Army 37-14. Holy crap. They lost to Charlotte 21-20. And Charlotte is one of the worst programs ever, according to some of our transfers who came from there. They beat University.
Why is that?
They just said that it was a bad program, like as far as getting gear. The kids had to buy their own cleats. Like it was a mess. What? Yeah, like they didn't have a deal with anyone specifically, or the deal didn't provide enough gear for everyone, where the players had to pay for certain things like gloves.
Wow, that sounds budget as hell.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Yeah, it was really a bad situation. They beat University of Texas San Antonio 29-27, and they just are coming off a loss to Tulane 24-10. But I believe Tulane is pretty good. So yeah, Tulane is 5-2. So I mean, it'll be a good matchup.
Yeah,
it'll be a good matchup. So, but we'll save our predictions for Friday.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. I guess for the man himself, Tyler King, the Marauder, all he does is train, teach class, and beat ass. Tyler King. And he's being honored this weekend. Motor City Bowl defensive MVP. Tyler, did you have 2 sacks that game and a couple TFLs?
Sack and a half, 2.5 TFLs, fumble recovery.
That's what it was.
Tackles.
Yeah, I remember being there.
It was a solid game with a broken ankle.
Well, yeah, he came back from one of the most vicious injuries I ever saw. Was that against Rutgers?
No, that was against Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
And
did Pittsburgh end up winning?
No, we won.
No, I mean this week, because I know Pittsburgh was winning.
I have no idea.
I'll check that. But anyway, for the Marauder, Tyler King himself, and the coach, David Schuman, remember tonight, Moneyline and Rebel Republic coming at you hard. This has been Husky Huddle. I am your host, the best podcast radio host in the universe, Steve Cully. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and shove them up Tyler's ass.